What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of the Dollface After Show. We are excited to dive into this episode, Season 1, Episode 6, entitled History Buff. Is Stella dating a killer? We need to know what is up with this new guy, Dan. And also, Jules is now stranded in a museum with Jeremy and his date. How do you guys think that went? We'll talk about it. Stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin. Here we go dancing.
Hey guys, we're back with another episode of the Dollface After Show. We are excited to talk about this jam-packed episode. We are back, and we have our lovely co-host back with us, Samantha, a.k.a. Which character are you again?
I'm Jules.
She's Jules. Okay, guys. You know we have this thing going where we're talking about what character we resemble on the show. So we have Jules, and to the next of Jules, we have...
the fun one, Stella.
And next to Stella, we have Madison now?
I would say Madison.
Okay.
I wouldn't take nobody man, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's still a little upset about that whole married man issue. And then, guys, as you know, apparently I'm Izzy, but I want to say I'm Madison, too. I'm taking the throne on Madison.
I'm
again.
weird. I'm weird, too.
But, guys, okay, so before we get into some overall thoughts, we're going to, just lay it all out there. We're going to talk about Madison, how she was kind of overbearing this episode. We learned a lot about what she does to protect her friends, and it was a bit much. We also learned about Killer Dan, this crazy guy who we think was like some killer, and then he ends up being just a weirdo. And then the earthquake at the museum that causes Jules to be stranded with Jeremy and his new model date. What were your overall thoughts about this episode? How were you feeling? It was a lot going on.
Just too much. Not too much. I liked it. Too much in a good way.
Yeah.
The earthquake part I thought was really funny, and I liked how they did the analogy with seeing the big one, seeing your ex for the first time.
And the news anchor and all of that.
That was hilarious. So that was probably my favorite part.
Yes, the museum part was my favorite. Maybe scene of the whole series. I love how she was scurrying around and then how she went to the gift shop to get a new outfit.
Yes, I love that part.
Yeah, I thought the whole her getting on them for not being prepared was really funny, and that's how I know I'm really a Madison, because I have a 72-hour earthquake kit in my car.
Mm-hmm. So prepared.
Yeah.
I thought this episode was great. I was so not here for the date with Jeremy and the whole bathroom incident where she's literally venting and pouring her heart out, not knowing that this was the ex-girlfriend. That was very cringy to watch. But let's go ahead and get into Madison. So in this episode, we see that Madison has all of this bag full of belongings, and we learn that she does certain things to protect her friends. So we noticed that she found Stella in the midst of them talking about this earthquake, preparation kit and all of that. Stella finds a passport in there, and she's questioning her, why do you have my passport? And she's like, oh, I was protecting you from this guy and the trip that you were going to go on with, was it Jaden Smith or something? Yeah. She was saying, Stella's like a celebrity, low-key. So she talks about that, and then she gets into Killer Dan and how she had his, what was it, a mitt or something that had his
ski glove.
A ski glove that he had his number on. Okay, would you guys go that far to protect your friends? At this point, I low-key kind of thought it was psychotic, kind of. I don't know if it's just me. What's your opinions on it?
I think it's too controlling and micromanaging, and I would never want a friend like that.
I support it 100%. I support it 100% because she thought he was a straight up killer. She was like, he is an axe murderer. I mean, I don't know if you felt that strongly. I would be like, it's extreme, but you know that Madison is 100 on everything. Yeah, I went out on a date once, and the guy drove a Volkswagen Bug, and my sister was reading a book about a profile on serial killers and how a lot of them have Volkswagen Bugs. So she's terrified. So she's like, get his information. Let me write down what you're wearing. Where are you going? Be back at this time. She was completely obsessed that this guy was a serial killer. Luckily he wasn't, but I appreciated it. I mean, Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the docuseries that she watched and like with the whole story that she gave, it low-key was very suspicious.
Mad suspicious.
It was very
Sus.
suspicious. But the storyline, I don't know, did she watch it before she received the glove? Did she do research on him before? Like, that kind of did not go well together for me. I was kind of confused on that. But overall, the principal, it was very overbearing. It was a lot. Like, you should be able to trust me as a friend to know that I'm not going to put myself in danger. And in general, let me live my life.
Right.
Like,
Guys.
if I want to date a killer, let me date a killer.
Totally.
No, guys, y'all acting like y'all do not know.
I do this. I'm a Madison.
Thank you.
I'm
y'all,
with you.
Y'all
We're
acting,
always
y'all acting
on
like
there.
Y'all don't know Stella. Who
I'm
jumped
Stella. I'm
in-
dating the killer.
Who jumped in Uncle Jesse, Uncle Joey's van.
Okay.
She's always doing crazy stuff. If,
I would have done that too.
Listen, if Madison wasn't running behind her to make sure she was okay all the time, she would be dead by now.
You're right. Okay, when you put that, when you give us that point, you're right. But don't lie about it, or
Right.
like I just feel like as a friend, you can still let her know.
Right.
No, this is what's going on. Like, that was so sneaky, and it's like, well, what else of mine do you have?
Right.
It almost made it seem like you're obsessed with me. I don't know. I'm going completely left with it, but just like hiding things for your own personal keep, like that just freaked me
A little
out.
creepy.
I
Just
don't
go
feel like
straight
she
to
would
the
do that
source.
to Jules. I don't feel like she would do that to Jules because Jules is a responsible friend.
Yeah.
But that daggone Stella is.
But then also it's kind of like mean towards Stella. Like you don't trust Stella with her own
Yeah.
life. Like being like you're not.
I don't.
I mean, she's
do
a
you
mess.
trust? Do you trust Stella with her
Then
own life?
like you gotta kind of trust your
No.
friends to an extent, even if
To
they
an
are a little
extent.
weird.
You can because that's when now Stella's gonna be very cautious with her. I would like, okay, I don't know. That would just freak me out. But in the end, guys, Killer Dan was no killer. He was actually a weirdo who was obsessed with dolls, and he likes to, can I say, masturbate?
He's a furry. They're called furries.
Furries. Okay, well, yeah, he does his thing to Chuck E. Cheese. And that's what was the real thing that happened. He was not the killer. He just so happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing what he had to do.
But she was close enough.
She was close enough, and he was very psychotic. Yeah. So needless to say, that was a mess. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. No, before we get into the earthquake, let's get into how the viewers can stay in tune with us. Kay, can you please let them know how to stay in the loop with AfterBuzz?
Yes, we're so glad that you guys are here with AfterBuzz TV, and we want to give you a few ways that you can support us. So first off, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. That's a huge plus for us. Also, if you're listening via podcast, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. And then no matter what you're doing, if you're listening, if you're watching, we always need your comments and positive feedback. That's super important to us. So being a part of AfterBuzz has meant so much to all of us on the panel. I know we all love TV. We love dishing with you super fans. We're grateful to Keven and Maria for giving us this platform, and we love to just bring you guys great content.
Yes, we love it. And the ding is back. Thank you, Ryan, for that. So, guys, let's talk about this earthquake at the museum. So we know the earthquake is happening. The friends are at the house. They're safe. But Madison, on the other hand, she went to a museum to drop something off for work, and she was doing this to get out of going to, what was it called, SantaCon or something like that, because she feared that Jeremy would be there just for him to be at this museum on a date, guys. And what made it worse was the girl was absolutely beautiful. She had this bomb dress on. Meanwhile, Jules is in this mall Santa suit. It was a lot to take in. First of all, we saw the Bumble date. We saw, how he is quickly moving on, and she's just trying to, build her friendships again. How did you guys feel seeing him there, like, lively, especially after she mentioned that he never went to museum dates? So to see him there with someone who, she feels is more beautiful than her, and taking the extra limb to try something new that he never would do with her, how did you guys feel about that scene?
I felt that it was an opportunity for Jeremy to show that he's growing. Like, even though their relationship is over, he admitted to her, like, hey, I've always regretted not doing this. And I thought that was very mature of him to do, because he could have totally gone the jerk route and was like, hey, I'm here with my new girl. Yeah, she's amazing. Like, he didn't. He was like, hey, like, I literally went on this date because I felt bad because you always mentioned this and I never did. Like, we never went because I wanted to SantaCon.
But before he said that, were you a little angry?
I mean, obviously you're pissed off because you don't want that to happen, right? Like, that's the worst feeling in the world. But it's reassuring because when you see that, that means you're moving forward. So Jules got another slap in the face to move in the right direction.
Move on.
Yeah. What about you? You're like in deep thought.
Sorry. Just thinking about men. I agree with her.
She's like, trash.
Does not feel good to see your old man so quickly moving on with a new girl. Old man, I mean, am I Madison? I don't know. And then, but I agree. Once you see them with a new person, it helps you move on in a way. So hopefully she's moving on, seeing that he's moving on. And then also I do like that she mentioned that he's growing and learning from his relationship with Jules.
I agree.
Yeah, same. I mean, I agree. It was cool at the end that he, came, to terms with what he did. But in a way, you're still just hurt because it's just like, if you're going this extra mile with this other girl and you knew you felt bad, I don't know. To me, it was like, why can't we rekindle it if you feel so badly? Or why did you have, I don't know. I guess he is completely moved on from her to, use his lessons towards her. But I guess the museum, for him to think of Jules, I would think that he would be like, you know what? I want to go with Jules or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just
no, because if he was like pulling the moves on her, would you want them to get back together?
I kind of want them to.
What?
No.
I'm so scared
No.
That brings hope, and hope hurts you.
Okay, but
There's a difference between rekindling and a backward step. And so let's just
think
say
it's a backwards?
I think it's a backward step.
Okay.
Because she says to him, what I realized is that when you say you didn't want to go to the museum, I should have went with my friends and not resented you.
True.
Yeah.
So listen, here's the thing.
So they're both growing.
They are both growing. And just Jeremy ain't that dude. He ain't the dude.
Okay. Jeremy,
ain't
I
the
tried,
dude.
but they said you're not in it. So
Yeah. And also, he consumed her entire life because she could have had these friends at the same time of having a relationship with him, but she had to break up with him in order to have girlfriends. It's like she couldn't have both. So he's not the one. You can have it all.
She was so drowned by Jeremy.
I had hope.
And let's look at her part in it, though. Like, we all hate Jeremy, sure. He's great to hate, by the way. But let's also, she has some responsibility in this situation, right? So we understand that when Jeremy couldn't go with her, she, instead of getting her friends up, living her life, being herself, she was just like, oh, okay, and just stayed and hung out with Jeremy playing beer pong or whatever lame thing him and his friends were doing. So she has to take some responsibility for being a sucky backseat driving girlfriend.
True. Well, I'm so happy that she's finding this growth. But okay, we have to talk about the awkward moment where, she decided to hide off. First of all, her friends are amazing. They were getting on that lift, aka carriage, horse, whatever, to save their girl because they knew that she was stuck in that museum with Jeremy and his new date. So I was so happy to see that. Like, those are real friends. But let's talk about how she has to hide in this mummy, and they started making out, and then she's running around scrambling to find new clothes to make her presence known just for the security guards to come and detain her. What was going through your mind? Did you think, I honestly thought that she was going to get caught and she was going to walk out mid them making out, and it was going to be so awkward. I don't know. It was
I'm glad they
crazy.
didn't do that. I was like, please just let her look cool for once.
Well, she still did it though. She got trampled.
But she looked hot.
Yeah.
When he saw her, at least.
Yeah.
In her museum outfit. Gift shop outfit.
Yeah. But yeah, that was crazy. But I'm just so happy to see, I guess like you said, I love the rekindle thing, but you guys are right. I'm happy to see Jeremy growing and trying to be a better man for the next woman. And I'm happy to see that she's like, you know what? I've given my life to someone for so long. It's time for me to rekindle what my riders, literally riders, they were riding a horse to come to her. So I was happy to see that. And yeah, do we think now that her and Jeremy had this little discussion and, rekindle moment? Can we see her finally moving on with the hot vet, or what's up with that?
I do.
I like him.
I do. I think this was it for her and Jeremy. I think they needed some closure.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was it.
Yeah.
So I feel like when we see him at the wedding, it's just going to be, high and by.
Yes, that's going to be juicy. Yeah, well,
It
guys.
is not going to be juicy. It's going to be high and by.
It's
because she going to bring the vet as her +1. Let's do it.
All right, Kay
Let's do
and
it.
Madison, let us know. Let us know. You
Plus
guys
vet.
also let us know in the comments what you think. In the meantime, do we have some news, Miss Jenny?
We have some celeb gossip.
TV news.
So we have Macaulay Culkin in this episode playing the killer. And
Killer man.
Brenda's song calls him creepy, but they are dating in real life. They've been dating for 3 years. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
You didn't know that?
I am speechless. I am
the Home Alone.
flabbergasted. How?
No, I did not know that. Are you in all the Brenda song news? You
Oh
knew
yeah, that's my girl.
Okay.
So how do you feel about it? Are you here for
I
it?
think it's weird. I think it's really weird. I don't know. 2017, I saw the photo and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Maybe they relate on being child stars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. They probably have a lot in common
Well, I
on
hope she's
that.
getting him together. I mean, it seems like he's better now, but that's just weird.
Yeah, it's an
Ew.
interesting
But you know
match for
what?
sure.
Whatever.
But watch
floats your
her
boat.
be weird in real life, you know?
my
Like, we
God.
don't know.
We don't know
Oh, that's
how
true.
that
Yeah,
works.
you
True.
know?
And maybe
Yeah.
he's not weird. Let me not say that.
Just because he's a killer in this.
Yeah. He's probably not weird.
We would feel like Macaulay Culkin is weird with anybody though, because we see him as Mr. Home Alone. So if
Yeah.
he was with anybody, you'd be like, Macaulay Culkin.
And then isn't he like
He
so
should
much
still be
older?
at
Oh my
home.
God. I don't know. Well, I don't know. She might, Disney character, the people who play those
Yeah.
roles, they're always like
I think
pretty
she's like
old.
33.
So
Yeah.
interesting. Well,
Very
thank you for that
interesting.
news. That was great
My pleasure.
news. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but I'm completely shocked.
I had no idea.
Now, let's go ahead and get into our special segment, Ovaries over Broveries?
Ovaries before
Broveries. I almost had it. Take us on with that segment, Kay.
Yes. So, we hit up all things girl power. And this episode, we're going to be talking about your favorite girls in animation.
Yeah.
They can be pairs, they can be singles, they can be trios, whatever. I decided on a pair of besties.
Nice.
Penny Proud and Dejanay from the Proud family. Were you going to say the same thing?
Yes.
Well, we combined over that. We both love them. They were
I'm Penny
always
Proud, I'm cute, and I'm loud.
And I got it going on. I was literally going to say that. Wow. Jenny's sitting back like, can't relate.
I love them together. I love Dejanay's and her little family, her little brother named Tabasco. Like all of that was
Tabasco and
hilarious.
nutmeg. Was it a nutmeg?
All of them named after spices and various things. But so anyway, they had the cutest, best friendship. They were adorable together.
So sweet. Mine are weird. I like Tinkerbell. I love but she's kind of like mean. But I love her sass, and then I love Angelica Pickles, who's also sassy. So I'm like, they're like mean animated characters. But I love bossy girls.
Yes.
Nice.
Bossy.
I'm going to go with the Powerpuff Girls. I know that we said we weren't going to do it, but honestly, like Buttercup is my favorite. And I love how they're all so different. Obviously, they're sisters, and they're ready to kick some butt.
And you have them as screensavers on your
I
phone.
do.
You're
I
dedicated.
do.
You
So
really
I
do.
am
love
a
them.
dedicated one.
Oh, guys, you all took mine. Oh, my God. Okay, I loved Blossom. I wanted to be Blossom. Like, me and my sister used to fight about Blossom. And I loved Penny Proud.
You can still love those.
I
You
can
don't have to
still
come
love
up with
Penny
something
Proud.
else.
Yeah? Okay.
That's
Thanks,
such
guys,
an
for
easy.
moral
That's
support.
such an easy thing to choose with somebody else's
So
children.
true.
It's perfect.
I'm not easy.
No original ideas.
With that being said, since Miss K wants to be shady, we are ending the show.
Drama for next step.
Stay tuned. We have a lot of beef coming up. JK, where can we find you guys on social ladies?
You can find me on Instagram at @storyof_Samantha.
You can find me on Instagram at Jenny Louise Austin.
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at HostK.
And you guys can find me on all social media platforms at _Tyra Prude. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will be back to cover episode 7. Stay tuned, guys. See you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.